Hi there, greetings and thank you for joining me today. Hi from the UK. So if you're in the States, I guess you're on the countdown now, aren't you? Countdown to the second inauguration, the second coming of Trump. Yeah, 47 I guess it'll be, won't it? As it was 45 before. And now, even though I'm a Brit living outside the USA, it still feels great to say, not my president. Let's put the picture in there, shall we, at this point. When the election results were posted, I felt inspired. So since the tremors were at a minimum at that point, I thought I'd dash one of those out. It was freehand. I was quite proud of that. But it says it all. It says it all, I think, because I feel that Trump's loyalties are definitely not with the citizens of the USA, the taxpayers in the USA. They're not with them. His loyalties to family, maybe, probably, and not all of that family is US based. I think we're not seeing the full picture. We're seeing Trump and the key individuals within the family, disagreeable as they mostly are, but we're not seeing the other extended family, the controlling hands behind all of that. I fear we're missing something. The electorate's missing something, and sure as hell it's not visible to the rest of us, but it just feels wrong. You know, when you look at something and you just know something is wrong. Gut instinct, that's what I'm rolling on now. Okay, so I feel that his loyalty may be divided. He may have some loyalty to Russia in some sense because he's friends with Putin. It's well documented, it's not hidden. And Putin and him probably exchange terrible ideas, and of course Putin's in the middle of this trying to conquest of the Ukraine, and who knows how that's going to go. And I guess it's giving Trump the idea that maybe it's a good idea to try and land grab in their own way from the States, Greenland being voiced at this point. Yeah, that seems like a very, very bad idea on so many different levels, Same can be said of the Panama Canal, It's best left in the hands of the people that are currently making it work, because it works, okay? It is possible to stretch a country's resources right to the limit, to cut back on certain things, as conservatives, as right-wing parties do, cut back until really there's nothing really tangible holding it together. And you only have to look at other parts of the USA that are currently part of the USA, I'm thinking Puerto Rico and other parts, to see that there's not a fair and equitable share of taxes across the states. They're all kind of running themselves individually, and that means there are poor states, there are very rich states, and they're all supposed to be protected by the same military and the same structures, but of course it's not. And when you look at the places like Puerto Rico, their infrastructure, their electricity, gas, water, it's ancient. It's not maintained properly. It needs replacing on a vast scale, and it's never going to happen because they're always treated as the poor cousin. So, that sort of country doesn't need to be grabbing any more land, does it now? Think about it. Obviously, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. So to the rest of the world, it looks like it's a big old dumpster fire waiting to happen, and we're looking forward. Well, not really looking forward. We're expecting more of the same. Last time it was press conference after press conference while he went off to the golf course to twiddle his thumbs and whatever, and supposedly play golf, and left all the press conferencing to other lackeys, telling us about the latest nightmares spinning from his toilet bowl. And I expect more of the same, nonsense like applying massive tariffs to imports from China. Now, again, I'm a Brit. So what do I know? Well, I know one thing. If you apply a tariff to imports from a country, whatever it's China or anywhere else, you are increasing the cost of that product to the end user. Now, if you're importing to the USA, I'm guessing the end user is going to be, for the most part, US citizens. So the cost doesn't get passed on to the people selling the goods, to, in this case, China. The cost gets passed on to the end user within the states. That doesn't mean anything other than the US citizens paying more in an indirect tax for everything they buy. Everything they buy will be more expensive because no one's going to stop importing good goods from China. No one's going to stop that. The price point will always be competitive. They'll just add on the tariffs on the end, so the end user has to pay more. And if they can't afford it, well, never mind. And that's the way it'll go. So you'll either have people paying more, or certain objects this won't be economical to import because of the extra cost on top, because people, will draw the line somewhere. That's how I see it. Sadly, Trump doesn't understand economics on any level, really, which is why he's come out with this nonsense, really. There are other ways to grow an economy. There's common sense ways, but that isn't one of them. Yeah, so that's just my two penneth. Like I say, not looking forward to the second coming of Trump. I hope it's short-lived, but then I wonder if Trump falls for any reason in any way, we're left with the deputy, aren't we? We're left with J.D. Vance. And who or what is that? Sounds like a department store. Certainly some dude coming from nowhere. And we see too much of that in politics these days, both in the States and in the UK and the rest of the world. All of a sudden you've got somebody who's been groomed, the other sort of grooming, groomed for the position of Prime Minister or presidency, and they've just come from nowhere, and somehow they've been foisted into that position by business interests that nobody sees. That's how I see it happening. And we see a similar sort of thing happening here in the UK with a lot of politicians come from nowhere. And if you've ever spoken to someone who's been in politics, they'll tell you, oh yes, I'm going to be up for election in da-da-da-da area and this and that and the other. And you think, well, okay, coming from where? Whose palm did you grease there now? And you realise they've been placed there because they are pliable. They will maybe take steps on behalf of a business interest that maybe other people with more backbone wouldn't. I'm just saying. Anyway, whatever you do, have a cracking day. See you soon, and bye for now.